All right, guys, you know what time it is. Welcome to Samson's World. Oh yeah, bitches. I got a super special show here for you today. One of my best friends, my sister. She's one of the most talented actresses, comedians, entrepreneurs, writers. Any goddamn credit you throw at this woman. She was on They Ready, Tiffany Haddish's Netflix special. Give it up for Miss Aida Rodriguez. Hang on, Aida. I am adding you to this. And we are there. Okay, guys, there she is. She's here. There she is. Oh, that's wrong. There we go. All right, Aida.
I needed that intro.
Okay, how did you like that? That was a little wild. Can you hear me?
I needed that.
Okay, good.
I haven't been on stage for like weeks now, so
that's true. You know, I didn't think about that. I mean, me neither. And it's like
a good intro.
You know, just getting that little intro from a host is like, I missed that as well, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome. It's so nice to see you again.
I know it's been too long.
It has been too long. Well, you know, here's what happens. And we know kind of with Tiffany, you know, when you blow up, you get so busy that, you know, people don't understand. Like every single day, every minute of the day is pretty much planned out. And it goes, you have to go into hyper focus mode. So,
you know, I got all the busy without the blowing up.
You said what?
I said I got
busy without the blowing up. That's funny. Shut up. I mean, come on. You were on a billboard for They Ready on the side of the Laugh Factory, which is like every comic's dream. Does the Laugh Factory book you anymore because of that?
I haven't been at the Laugh Factory in quite some time. Well, none of us have, but I wouldn't say that it is.
No, it's as much as you would think, I guess.
No, but the Cellar did in New York and other clubs, you know, that I love. The Improv did. The Laugh Factory, not as much, but I still love the Laugh Factory. Is one of my home clubs.
Of course, that's one of the best clubs to perform. I mean, one of the best stages in terms of energy.
Yeah, but anybody who knows me knows I don't lie for anybody, so I'm not gonna pretend. And oh my God.
That's why I asked you. I like the real. You know, you and I kind of have that in common. And just to start off, like tell people, you know, I had known of you, but formally met you at the Arsenio Hall show when we were there watching Tiffany perform. And it wasn't the original, the second coming of Arsenio Hall, because everybody knows we're not that old nearly. And and that was where I really first met you and everything. And we kind of started really being friends and all that. And then you would come to Bite Size and did a stand-up set when I was heading the Comedy Network there. And then, of course, through the, 4 years after that, you know, your trajectory is just taken off as a stand-up actor. I want to put up this, too. You just sold... you sold a show, well, with Tiff, or I'll let you break this down, but I'm going to flash the picture in the middle of us of the Deadline article. Tiffany Haddish, who exec produced Aida Rodriguez comedy and works at HBO Max. Can you talk to us about that a little bit at all?
Yeah. So one of the things that Tiffany and I talked about some time ago was about throwing the road back to one another. And of course, her becoming the success that she's become, she took a pay cut at Netflix and created this opportunity for me and 5 other people, which was her throwing the road back. She had always said to me that whenever she was in the position of power, she would be interested in executive producing or doing whatever she could to help me get a TV show out there. So what happened was, actually, I went out and pitched my show like the week after we taped They Ready. So it's been a year since I sold my show. This is the year anniversary.
So hold on, you sold the show a year ago.
I sold it a year ago, right after They Ready.
People know, like I think regular folks don't understand like the process of how long it takes to pitch, to sell, to even get it to air. So and then, they sold a year ago. You know, that's amazing.
I sold it a year ago with my 2 executive producers, co-writers, showrunners, Chris Case and Nasrin Dubai. and Astrid runs Dear White People on
Oh yeah.
shows. So we sold the show, and so in that process, there was the merger that took place.
Okay.
So,
what merger? Because we're
Warner Media. Because I sold my show to TBS. I went in and pitched to TBS, and the people at TBS bought the show. Okay. And they decided that they were going to put the show on the streamer. So we went, they went through the whole acquisitions thing. People came in, new people that are going to be running the network. We have the amazing Susanna Makos now over our show. And so Tiffany calls me and she's like, how you going to sell a show without me? So I decided to bring her aboard as an executive producer as well, and reciprocate, because like she did for me. So it was like, the process is, I would be dishonest and I would be dismissive of the efforts of the two people that I sold the show with to say,
of course, well, and we all understand, or if people don't, that in a headline and deadline, and also to involve Tiffany in a project, it is a lucrative move. Her name now buys, it's a chess move, it buys, oh, well, Tiffany's involved. Okay. We're gonna fast track it. We're going to take it a little more serious, and it doesn't take away from everybody on your team or your efforts. But yeah, a lot of people don't always understand that, like Jordan Peele, for example, somebody could come to him with something, and then it's Jordan Peele presents my idea. And, sometimes, you get on the train of a friend, or, your friend lets you, it's like
in all fairness and all clarity, Tiffany did not get me a TV show.
Right.
But in all fairness to her, when we decided to bring her aboard, she said to me, if I can help you, then I'm here. And if you decide to do the show without me, I understand. But I just know that if I can help your project in any way, then use my name and use me. And that's why I want to tell people the truth, because a lot of people don't do that.
No, I agree. Yeah.
A lot of people don't do that. And even though, to Deadline and Hollywood Reporter and all the people who only care about the names in the business,
clickbait,
they frame things in a certain way. They also don't know the intricacies of the deal. No. I just think it was important for people to know that it is also important to me to make sure that I reciprocate to her, because it is an act of gratitude and love for what she did for me in the first place.
Right. And I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, if people understand that, you can never be jealous of somebody else's success or being, and your friends should help you when you need it. And then when they need it, you're there to help them. And it goes back and forth, and that's how we all stay working, instead of being a narcissist who says, I don't need anyone. I'll just bring all this money and success to myself. And for some people, a lot of people in Hollywood, they are able to do that. But I believe in longevity, your relationships and the seeds that you plant. It's like, why plant seeds to just chop the trees down when they're little babies or something, like, let the trees grow, keep them growing, and the fruit, will keep bearing or whatnot.
100%. Also, for me, Chris and Nastran, my two co-writers, and showrunners and whatever, they worked. They're two of the people that actually moved the needle forward for me, because I've been trying to sell this show for 2 years. I had a deal somewhere else for a year where I was held up. And they came along, and then I had another deal somewhere else. So they came after 2 TV deals and said, let's get this done.
Yeah. And, tell people who they are, because it's not like they're 2 no names at all. They've got a lot of credits themselves.
So Chris Case, he ran the 2nd season of Legit with Jim Jeffries. He did a pilot, one of the, I guess, most sought after pilots he had at Fox with Bill Bellamy, actually. He actually has worked with a lot of comedians. He has such a long resume. I can't list them all. But
no, it's all good. I
they're familiar.
It's.
And Nasrin Dubai as well. She's she's running a show right now at Stars with Yvette Lee Bowser, but she ran Dear White People.
Oh, yeah.
And she's done everything from network to streamers. She's an Iranian woman that's, brilliant mind, very good at what she does. And she totally gets me. They both do. So.
Okay. Love it. Well, so like, let's just talk about, obviously, if people aren't familiar with you, I did your podcast course, True Serum, where that is just what you give to people. And you've been on the Young Turks as a correspondent. You've been on the Daily Show as a correspondent. You were on the Nightly Show, right, as a correspondent. You've been on everything. I'm still waiting for the Aida Rodriguez Daily Show, but
Me too.
You and I have always related through kind of socially political comedy and things like that. Also, you're Puerto Rican, so there you obviously is so many layers to you. But I just want to tell people a little bit about your style of comedy.
Well, I've had a lot of time to think about that because since I've been in this hostage situation, I have, what I do is what I really like to do is tackle social issues through the lens of my own personal experience because I represent so many marginalized groups. I think it's important for me to give a face and a voice to those people. But I don't want to be like a preacher. Like I'm not in the business of getting into comedy, and I still don't want it to be at the expense of being funny. And,
right.
That puts me in a very interesting position because a lot of people who are liberals, that are social justice warriors tend to be a little bit more politically correct. They lean more towards that. For me, it's very hard to be honest about stuff if I'm not politically incorrect. And sometimes that's just the expense. But I just like tackling issues of life through the stories of the people who are actually living them. There are a lot of people who are, always preaching about, equality and, unity and all this other stuff. And they have no concept of what it's like to be poor, no concept of what it's like to be a person of color. And it's just all this preachy, very condescending tone that can be very big turnoff. And I don't want to be a part of that.
I hear you. And I don't either. I mean, I find that obviously, and I'm just sharing this to my other page just so you don't think I'm just ignoring you.
No.
But, I feel the same way. And, this like being a white guy, I feel the responsibility to speak out about these things. Because like you said, it's not like we can ever pretend to have the experience.
Right.
But why am I? It's going sideways. Let me see something. That's on a sideways view. Hang on a second. We're on our live view. I'm just making sure.
I'm looking for you. Are you tagging me on these?
Okay, here we are. Yeah, I'm tagged. Let me make sure you are tagged. Hold on. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Guys, this is what we call in the social media world tagging. Aida Rodriguez. And Aida, say your name for everybody because I know a lot of people mess up your name all the time.
Aida, you said it right.
Aida, yep. See, because a lot of people say Ada.
No, that's not correct.
Aida.
Yeah,
it's Aida.
It is Aida.
It is Aida. This is kind of funny. I am about to win Father of the Year.
Okay.
You know my youngest Charlie, right?
Charlie.
So I feel terrible, but last June for his birthday, we promised him to get him a Marshall from Paw Patrol, but the character with the big helmet, the head piece to come to his birthday party. And I don't know what happened to frickin' Marshall. The guy charged my credit card and probably got drunk and never showed up. So I told Charlie, I was like, dude, Marshall must have got lost in traffic. I'm so sorry. And so he was so sad. It was like heartbreaking. But I said, I promise you, Marshall is going to visit, at some point. And like just the other day, we're in quarantine and poor guy can't really see any of his friends or anything. And he's like, Dad, do you think Marshall is still in traffic? And I'm like, you're killing me. So you won't be able to see this, but I'm showing the audience. So I bought a adult size costume with the Marshall head. So it's gonna be freaking hilarious because I guess I'm just gonna show up, as Marshall, but it's gonna be like the Superman thing because Dad will be away, getting exposed to Corona while Marshall is at home entertaining the kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it should be pretty fun. But oh my God, he's gonna shit his pants because it's amazing. He has not forgot that Marshall got caught in traffic at all. So that'd be good. But I do want to give you a quick Ida hashtag best hair during the quarantine. You're looking good. I mean, especially given you got some headphones on too. Show everybody your shirt real quick. Do you mind?
No, it says, "Who does this bitch think she is?" And
love it. Oh wait, yeah.
Bitch is an acronym for the ladies, so for being in total control of herself.
Okay, bitch, being in total control of herself. I love that. No, wait, I just saw your arm. What happened to your arm?
So I have a broken wrist and elbow. I was in Canada doing the House of Comedy, and I fell on black ice in Edmonton.
Oh my God, black ice. That sounds like some racist shit there.
That's hilarious. And yeah, so I have 3 more weeks to go with this cast to get an x-ray to see if I got to get another 6 weeks.
Oh my God, so you're coming to, it's so dangerous. I mean, I'm from St. Louis, so I know like you'll come down like the stairs under your driveway or something. I mean, videos of guys like going down their entire driveway.
It's tricky. Yeah.
Oh no, poor thing. So did you break it bad or like?
Well, I mean, I fractured it in 2 places, so enough to get a cast.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will be over.
That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. That's no.
Yeah, that's what makes the quarantine even worse.
Yeah.
Because if I had, I've been doing what I can. Like I just put a picture up yesterday. I've been, every day I like ration my activities so that I have something to do every day.
No. You kind of have to do that to keep your sanity. I mean, that's why I love at least getting to do these shows, and it's been inspiring too because I see Jimmy Kimmel, James Corden, like all the biggest talk show hosts are sitting at home, and I'm like, okay, here's the time, man. It hit me this morning that the platforms had been leveled, or the playing field is leveled. So obviously Jimmy Kimmel is Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, but it's a real opportunity for anybody to emerge in a sense, Yeah,
they're not going to want to go back.
I don't think, they might not be able to go back. I mean, it's like people talk about I hate hearing, oh, this is the new normal, but is it possible this is the new normal? I've been saying maybe once a year now, we might take a month siesta because we have to, because these fucking infectious disease viruses become a new normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But is this going to F up our opportunities as comedians? Like, is it going to be different now? I was saying we try to make people laugh and spit up at us, you know what I mean? Choke on their drink is, a great reaction, but how much are we all going to be willing to get together now for concerts? I'm wondering how long that's going to stain our membrane, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, I think that we forget what the psychological effects of this are going to be. I think we don't take them into consideration. People keep saying when this is over, it's going to be very hard because the psychological effects of being isolated are real.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time before people want to get in a room with 200 other people for comedy, music, or whatever. It definitely is going to change us. We might end up doing stand-up in parks and open places where people can have some distance. Which
that's kind of cool. I mean, I do my show on my deck, I guess, so that's already.
Yeah, I know you've experienced it. Some people, it's not as fun because it's hard to perform outside when the outside is a distraction.
Yeah, it's like a comedy. You kind of want them in this little tunnel and focus. And
like some of the best places where you do stand up are very enclosed, like the cellar, basements and stuff like that. That whole feel of. So we'll see. I think human beings evolve and they're resilient. And
I believe we'll get back to it.
The social media, I think, really doesn't help because there's always this exaggeration of reality through people who like to perpetuate fear because people are just seeking attention online. But I
Okay.
think that eventually it'll level off and we'll get back to some sort of normalcy because people need people, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yeah. And I mean, let's talk about that real quick. Do you have people on your timeline who are still believing this is a hoax? Let's talk about,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
I think I have it. Oh, wait, no, I just posted a meme that says, I saw tiger and tiger saw man. Wrong meme, folks. But, that there is a lot of truth in that as well. But the governor of Georgia, governor of Florida just made it stay at home. It's going to be in effect tomorrow. Same with governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, said the most, and my wife is a speech therapist, so I'm not going to say retarded, even though I just did. I'm going to say intellectually challenged, but I won't even say that because we can't even go there because that's offensive to people. I want to say Brian Kemp is just an alien art form of moron because he said in the last 24 hours, he just learned that this virus was contagious when you're not showing symptoms.
Yeah.
I said it to my kids yesterday. They went ahead without me on their bikes and crossed the street without me. And I caught up with them and I said, in what fucking world is it okay to cross the street without me? And in this situation, in what fucking world does he not know this shit is contagious way before you start, 10 days before you start to show symptoms? So most likely he's lying. Or, I mean, obviously he stole the election from Stacey Abrams, who Stacey Abrams would not have done this to the people of Georgia. You know what I mean? And I just coined this phrase, Ida, and you're going to like this. Trumpanors, governors who are in the pockets of fucking Trump are now killing people. This isn't political. It's just factual. At this point, their negligence of information is killing people.
Well, I was just on the Politicon podcast yesterday, and they said, the whole topic about China lying to us about their numbers and all of withholding information. And I just had to say, when did the United States become the responsibility of China? One.
Yeah.
Two, when did we spent the last year criticizing China for their practices, their lack of transparency when it comes to manufacturing and everything else? Why do we think that they're going to show up honorably now? Right?
Why are we surprised? And
why are we surprised that China lied?
What does it have anything to do with anything?
Yeah,
now.
Yes, and the reality of it is that China is not responsible for the well-being of Americans, but the United States government is. So when we sit here and we have these conversations, well, it's China's fault, and China, it just lets you know the level of ignorance in this country. People who blindly support politicians, regardless of what they say. They become cult members. They are fan clubs, but they are not constituents. And we are in trouble because of that level of ignorance. And the sad part about it is that the ignorance comes from the top.
I know.
So when Florida and
top down.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the people who will suffer are
the bottom up. Sorry,
are the ignorant.
I just saw all the red states that are really getting hit the hardest.
Yeah.
And it is. It's like kind of, we've been in quarantine now for 3 weeks.
Yeah, but just like poor white people have to blame the invisible immigrants who are coming for all of their jobs.
Right.
Now these people are going to need to blame the Democrats as this being a ploy to get rid of Donald Trump. And a lot of them are going to die and suffer as a result of that ignorance. Yeah. But that is just the reality of ignorance.
Well, how about, I just saw the immigrant undocumented farm workers they are now, who can be deported, they are the ones keeping us afloat. They're still in the fields working as you and I speak right now. So, months ago we were going to deport all of them, but now we depend on all of them to the point, and we only depend on them because we don't really actually value their lives.
Yep.
We value, somebody said, our strawberries not being bruised. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's so disgusting on so many levels, like from, I heard reports like Sean King saying at Rikers prison, they're just, there's no soap. So there's an underlying genocide that is taking place in America that I believe I'll just speak for us, that other countries are not taking part in. Like, I think our negligence is in some areas is kind of like, oh, hey, we did, it's like the lead in the water in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. There is a genocide taking place, but a lot of poor white people who blindly support Donald Trump will suffer at the hands of this crisis as well. And they
Right.
can, because yeah, ignorance is, it doesn't discriminate. And the truth is that when we talk about the prisoners, like, just think about it. When people come for Bernie all the time and they're like, well, somebody just tweeted him, all you talk about is healthcare. All you talk about is healthcare. Well, he's talking about healthcare right now because we're in a healthcare crisis. A lot of people who are losing their jobs are also losing their healthcare, and now more than ever, we need it. But when he talks about the education, about it should be free for people in America. You think about the reason why we would have, because one of the arguments about healthcare is that we don't have enough doctors to support a system of free healthcare. Well, if education wasn't as expensive as it is, and it was fair and enough for everybody, then we wouldn't have a shortage of doctors. And those are the reasons why I think that we need to think about things holistically, because you think about what's happening now. There are a lot of people in prisons who have COVID-19, and people that are in jail for selling marijuana that now the government is selling, taxing, and profiting from are in jail and subject to this horrible thing,
right?
Because of the gross abuse of capitalism in this country. Right. And you can't have these conversations with people because there's no conversation of nuance. You're either, you want this to be Cuba or you want it to be what it is now. And what it is now is not working for all Americans. It's only working for the top percent. And the people who support it that are at the bottom have Stockholm syndrome. They just sit around supporting, having blind worship of millionaires that they will never be.
And the connection is almost a lot of times through religion.
Oh yeah.
That's the irony is that connection through this is a lot of times, through the religion to the money. And then, I mean, even like, I was thinking about Mike Pence. Mike Pence is the type of guy who sits in the room jerking off, and then all of a sudden you turn on the lights after a mad, hot threesome, and you're like, who the hell is that? Who's jerking off in the corner? Who is that guy? Oh, that's Mike.
That's the guy.
That's Mike. Sorry,
and
guys.
Why do you keep saying mother?
I know, dude. He's so creepy. First of all, somebody pointed out something very interesting to me. Is like at 9/11, Dick Cheney, you didn't see him. Vice presidents are supposed to go underground in case of emergency. Why is he literally on Donald Trump's back? Like, is he winding him up? Is he pulling a string? Like, it's so bizarre. Like their relationship, because he plays so quiet and all and does his smile, looking on, when he should be nowhere near the president. He should be in a bunker in case something happens to the president.
Well, I mean, we have it's like this is the last episode, the last season of The Apprentice. And that's those are just the cast members of the show.
That's true.
We've reached the point where they're not even thinking about the people anymore. Like,
they're thinking about the ratings, Yeah.
And you think about
our president loves ratings over death rates.
Yeah, every day they get on television and they talk about social distancing, but they don't practice it. It creates so much distrust in the American people, because then people start to wonder, so is this a hoax? Do they have immunity to it? Right. Is there something they're not telling us? Even if you were lying, I would be like, everybody would be spaced out. The press conference would be from an aerial view, and you would hear me talking, and you would be like, okay, so I understand why they're practicing. They're talking about it, practicing it at the same time.
Well, they should be doing it like we are. I mean, none of them should be that close. Agreed, like they are. But I mean, and I think the hard part about this whole entire situation, I think for everyone, is it hits you in waves. We all wanted to believe this could never touch America. We all wanted to believe this was China's problem or blame somebody else. But it's our problem, and it really turns a mirror on our entire system, because you read in like Iceland, like they're pretty much recovering everyone, or other countries that are actually take care more of their citizens. We did away with Obamacare, we did away with the pandemic team. So look at what we're sitting here with now. Half the people we know don't have health insurance. They're comedians.
And they also have COVID-19.
Yeah. And also you're tied, or if you're tied, your insurance is tied to your job most times. You lose your job, companies drop you off your insurance within a week. And that's the notice they give you. And that's happening to everybody all over right now. And it's just sad. It's sad. I mean, we know a lot of people who are really hurting, and it's hard because you want to be able to help people. And it's just going to get more and more painful.
I think that,
within the next couple of weeks. I don't mean it's always going to be that way, but
I think for a while, and they said even a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing is that we have to stop. First of all, we have to stop with this fantasy that America is better and smarter and faster and harder than everybody else.
Right.
Because there are a lot more countries who are far more advanced than us in a lot of areas, from education to science. And this is obviously right now we can see it. The other thing is that when we start talking about how America this, America first, America us, we are interdependent countries, and we need to stop with the bullshit that we didn't think that was going to affect America. If COVID-19 has done nothing, it has shown everybody how vulnerable we all are to something that can spread all over the world quickly, quietly, without anybody even being prepared for it. And that is, if no greater message that we are all connected, whether we want to admit that or not.
Right. Yeah, it really showed us our ass. But I think it's also, it's been a nice time. While we were talking about before, there's like bouts of depression, or, I was joking on every day. I think I might have COVID a couple times. My throat feels dry. I'm like, oh shit, or you're just, I'm terrified for my children, or I went to pick up pupusas yesterday and my father yelled at me on the phone. But I literally had the lady, I pulled up to the back of the restaurant. It's our friend Ruth, pupusas at Village Tavern. I mean, she makes the best pupusas. So we got 20 of them to go. She comes out the back of the restaurant. It's just her, drops them in my window. I roll it up and I ride out. And so, we were talking, it becomes hard. Do you pick up? Do you have delivery? I saw a delivery guy yesterday get onto a fucking bus. So, it's so hard to know. What do you do? And you start to, everybody's like Instacart, Amazon, you can't get them to deliver. There's no windows.
So I have delivery. So Target, if you do the Target delivery service, they are the most accessible. I've had 4 deliveries from them. I had one delivered to my mother who's down in Miami and elderly. So they are a little bit more accessible. I have a shipped coming tomorrow, but I watched the videos on how to handle groceries. It's become a nightmare. Like even going to my mailbox, I got to go upstairs. I got to spray my mail down, like whatever the fuck I got to do. Like I'm washing my groceries down, spraying them down. I don't bring the boxes in the house. I don't bring the bags in the house. It's been quite, all of the things we take for granted, like
it's teaching us. Yeah.
Very humbling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, I was like, I'm going to end up killing my kids with Lysol, not Corona.
Yeah, I know. I mean, my throat.
I spray down the whole thing of pupusas. Then I get on plastic gloves, go outside, take off the top, put it into plastic bags, bring it inside like it's somebody's heart I'm transplanting into the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. It's like, it's not nearly as bad, I know,
as famine.
Yeah. Or people who have, high anxiety, prone to depression. This must really be tough. And I was saying too, I think it's important for comedians, especially comedians who might be doing better than other comics, to check in on comics, because a lot of people don't understand, like, our stage has been taken away. That's our whole existence for a lot of people. who are, like I said, prone to depression, the stage is their only place they feel happy. And it's been taken away. And like we were talking about earlier, who knows for how long that it will be felt.
Their income,
and the income, most importantly, because a lot of these guys Lyft, or they Uber, or they whatever it is, or they just do comedy, and a lot of people are, some are living in their car and struggling. And so I think it's just an important message to anybody. If you are financially doing okay, even try to find somebody on Instagram or social media and just see if they're hurting and just send them some money on Cash App. You know what I mean? Like, just for the fuck of it, just send somebody some money who might be hurting, $100, 50, whatever you can afford. If you have that, it makes somebody's day, and it's really easy. And I think it's a nice thing now that you could do, especially comedians. Find your favorite comedian and be like, yo, dog, what is your Cash App? I want to support you right now. So
yeah. I'm also doing a fundraiser.
Here's my Cash App. No, I'm just joking.
So funny. I'm raising money for like all the people who sew. There are a lot of people who sew who are out of work. Mm-hmm. So I'm creating a fund to give them stipends so that they can help make the masks and the gowns for doctors and the hospitals who have a shortage. So we kill two birds with one stone. So if you go to my Instagram or go to my Twitter, you'll see the link. So please donate to that, because there are especially a lot of undocumented people who are out of work and will not receive any relief as part of that stimulus package, but pay taxes and contribute to our, economy every day. I just want to make sure that we look out for them.
Yeah, and you just kind of made me think of something. Somebody asked me the other day, hey, Sam, so you're not going to, pay your mortgage yesterday, the first, and all that, or pay your rent or whatever it is. And I'm kind of like, well, okay, right now, if I can afford to, so yes, I will, because I don't think people understand. You're going to have to pay double rent in 2 months. You know what I mean? It's this whole idea that everybody, the banks aren't going to this and that, your landlord's going to get that money. It's not like that disappears. And I just, also I think it's kind of this whole thing of, even handing people money, I think is good, because a lot of people need that money. But also I'd rather send my check to like test kits or something so we can get on top of this, rather than pass somebody a check. I know everybody needs the money, so I'm not saying they shouldn't get it, but I'm just like, again, it's like the neglect, I feel like, of our government to take care of this shit. I mean, there's so many people who are just getting destroyed by this.
And you know what? I want to ask people, like, do you ask the questions, like, where does the money go? Where is the money?
Right.
Like, all of a sudden $1 trillion appeared, right? To create relief for the people, but more importantly for the corporations.
Where does that come from? Yeah. I mean, I think they said the corporations got $1 trillion or something. I don't know what the numbers are. I'm a comedian. But I mean, they got a bailout.
They make the money, right? So money will be available for Space Force, but there's no money available for math.
So it sounds like a movie, man. It sounds like a bad, like, Space Jam movie. Donald Trump trying to play basketball, or Donald Trump going to space. I mean, Space Force. I mean,
it is. And
we're living in Donald Trump's dream, man. We should have paid attention to Back to the Future 2. They knew what the fuck. Robert Zemeckis, I think, who did that. Man, they predicted it all in the Back to the Future movies. Biff was Donald Trump.
Yeah. And so was Terry Crews in Idiocracy.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Let's see. What else, Ida? Anything else on your mind before I let you go? I mean, this has been a great little chat with you today.
I know. I think checking in with people, right? So one thing that I've been... a lot of comedians have taken the opportunity and this time to being funny. And I have my moments where I do funny. So I do my hour on IG Live. I bring my other comedian friends. You need to come do it. And what we do is we talk about our bombing, our most infamous bomb. And then share, and then every comedian shares a funny story that they have with me about something that happened funny with us in comedy. But I do that, and then I'm hosting an open mic on Fridays for the Urban Movie Channel on IG Live as well. So
Oh, cool.
what happens is I work out new jokes, and then comedians. Tiffany did it last week, and then
Okay.
it ended up on TMZ and all over the place. She came and she worked out a dick joke, and I worked
crazy
out.
Tiff working out a dick joke.
Exactly.
That's not, I think Tiffany's been in her hair thing the whole quarantine.
I know.
It's so hilarious.
So we do the workouts, but I also like to take some time to have serious conversations.
Sure.
I think it's important for people to know that comedians are not clowns. We're not jesters. We're multifaceted human beings that we think about things. We have a point of view. And like you said, you're telling people, check in with people. Also to value and respect our essential workers. How quickly people when AOC was running for office and people used her being a bartender against her, and they chastised her and were condescending towards her because that's an essential worker, right? A server.
Crazy.
Now we're learning the value of those people.
Well, what's amazing is to see women and strong women that I've known who hate her. It's like, how as a woman do you hate another woman that's just trying to empower women? Or, it's so odd to me, but they got a whole list, prepared to fire along at you. But I don't know.
Jealousy,
it's just weird.
She's also really young. She's very pretty. Older women feel intimidated by her. And I just think, we got to be real about this. The dissent amongst women is just real. They do it every day. They tell us we're getting old, and every other commercial, and we fall for it, and we hate each other for it, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is true. It's a lot of brainwashing for sure at play.
Yeah.
But one day you guys will be running it.
We probably run it already, and we just don't.
You just don't know it. Well, you do. You make babies.
Yeah, we make people.
You make people. You make the people.
Everybody was made by a woman. Yep.
Yeah, everybody was made by a woman. That's true. Even Donald Trumpy. Well, no, I wasn't made by a woman. No, not me. No.
I was made by the best woman.
I was made the best. She's the best. My mom's vagina was the best canal to come out of. You've never seen anything so beautiful in your life. It was huge. It was huge. I was telling somebody last night, I can't do, comedians, you can either do great impressions or you can't. And I'm like, I don't do impressions. I do energy. I'm an energy work comedian,
Wow.
I bring you light. So, well, Ida, this was freaking awesome. I'm going to turn my music back on here so I can jam out. And it was a pleasure having you on this morning.
Same.
So nice to catch up with you. Everybody, make sure you follow Miss Aida Rodriguez, please. She's hilarious. She will be your new favorite comedian. Check her out on They Ready on Netflix. It's been up there. Tiffany Haddish's special where she took all of her friends, female specifically, and put them on. It's an amazing special. So go to Netflix. I know you don't have shit to do, so check it out. Aida, thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey.
All right, guys. We will see you next time. Thank you very much, Aida.